Taurus, welcome to September overall general energy reading. This is for September 1st through the 15th of 2020. Thank you for clicking on to this channel. I definitely appreciate it, and it also helps if you will please do me a favor and click on the big three, which is click the subscribe button, click the like button, and click the notification buttons. That helps with the YouTube algorithms. I would definitely appreciate it. I have already shuffled the cards and asked the angels and spirit guides to help with the shuffling, and this is a 5-card spread. That was just to save time. Before we get started, let you know this card over here, first card, is your past influences, which are basically the energy levels that were going on probably within the last 3 to 6 months, sometimes carry over to the present if they're not finished. The second card here, and we're going to go flip this, we have the Four of Wands. The second card here is your present energy, things that are going on with this present time within a couple of weeks. And this one we have the Prince of Wands. Keep in mind, in other tarot cards, this is also called a page. The third is your future, of the future energies of this current time frame. Here we have a 5 of Swords in reverse. And fourth card is your challenges, of things to sort of be aware of. Doesn't mean that they will occur, just that if you recognize them, you can prevent them and minimize the impact. This is the 8 of Pentacles, and then the fifth card is our outcomes for this period, and we have the 10 of the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so my nose. Let's get started here. In our past influences, here we have the Four of Wands. Sorry for the reflection there, folks. What I feel, let's see, for our overall Tauruses, what I've seen here in this past, your past influences, was that you had some joyful celebration. There was some happiness. There was some appreciation for the good things that many Tauruses were experiencing in the last few months. This card appearing here shows that for many it was a time to celebrate with those that you love. If you were able to under the COVID-19. Many were able to commemorate a significant event or a milestone, such as weddings or birthdays or homecomings, and enjoyed that. Some were able to invite a few friends over, and perhaps even were being creative and using sort of technology and Zoom and those things without having to visit each other in person, again because of the current pandemic. For many, it was about a time to sort of relax and let your hair down. I'm picking up here that the Wands here in the past influences also was an indication of thinking about returning home, or thoughts of returning home, to see people or places that were familiar to you. It doesn't mean that you acted on it, but perhaps there were feelings or thoughts about it was an opportunity to, or maybe you should return home. It's a place where you feel somewhat supported and secure, and perhaps some stable. I'm picking up here that for many Tauruses, because the Four of Wands associates very closely with the home environment, that some were working on improving or renovating a place where they were planning to stay, or were hoping to find a new place where they could stay. I'm picking up that many Tauruses were ready to settle down and had the feelings of wanting to settle down, or that was the intention. However, I'm also picking up that the Four of Wands is for many Tauruses that there was also a period of rapid growth and expansion, sort of energy, and it doesn't mean that it was a positive energy for some. For some it was a positive thing, and for others it perhaps was more of a negative energy, or things didn't turn out the way it was anticipated. And Tauruses had to take a step back for a moment and sort of evaluate what was important to them, and also give yourself permission to make changes if things weren't working out the way you thought they would be. And also to understand it was a part of a journey. It's also, I'm picking up here, important for Taurus is to remember these smaller milestones. You may have not achieved everything that you had hoped for in this past, but look at the smaller things that you did get out of it, or in learning. In numerology, the 4 symbolizes stability and firm foundations. For many, I'm picking up that the intention was to enjoy a period of happiness and security, and the idea was moving someplace to get a sense of harmony and balance, and perhaps the ideal of peace and contentment that comes with it. However, it doesn't necessarily. I'm picking up that was the intention, but I'm not picking up it was the goal. It was the outcome for all Tauruses for some reason. And I think it's interesting because maybe I'm picking up that for some Tauruses that there was a hope there, but things didn't go the way they were supposed to, and I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure if it's still in the. I'm not sure if it's still in the air for some Tauruses, or in some Tauruses it completed. I'm not picking that up here, but if it applies to you, Tauruses, and you're one of the ones that was your intention, that was a goal, and it didn't end up that way, let me know. But if everyone else, if it worked out the way you intended it, then that has a good meaning for you. But that's all I'm sort of picking up on the past influences. In our present situation, we have the Prince of Wands here, and other tarot, as I said earlier, they refer to it as the Page. It's the same thing. We know the Page here typically is about messages. That's the primary purpose of a page, is they bring messages. And in the present stage here, or your present here, I'm picking up for many Tauruses that you're inclined to give anything and everything a go. You are sort of embracing an opportunity to start out on a new journey. However, it didn't take you to the place that you thought or originally thought. And now it seems like for many Tauruses, your journey has sort of changed. And your direction of where you're wanting to go is different. I'm picking up, again, Tauruses, can have a gift of sort of dreaming and being creative, to sort of let go of the burdens of everyday life, and that ideally that nothing can get in your dreams. But the appearance of the Prince of Wands here is indicating that you experience some sort of restlessness. We see typically the Prince here is sort of gazing out, listless, sort of unsure. There's sort of a blank stare, so to speak. It's wandering. It's interesting that trying to keep that sort of one foot on the ground, and not, you don't want to go anywhere just yet. You're being very, that stubbornness, I guess, that comes in, and then there's facing reality that perhaps where you thought you were going, or what you thought you had planned is doesn't seem to be the best decision, and you're having to rely on your intuition at this point. I'm picking up that during this time of sort of, for the Tauruses that are questioning about what their plan is, if it changed, is that I'm picking up that it's important to map out a strategy, and not just wing it every day. And the idea of mapping out a strategy is to identify what it is that your ultimate goal is, and how are you going to get there. So particularly if your plans had changed or are different than what they thought they were going to be, I'm picking up that it's helpful to sort of mapping it out and putting it in writing will help you clear your thoughts, and will help you sort of filter and act on the things that are most aligned with your broader goals. I'm picking up that typically the Prince shows up here usually as a spiritual path, and maybe is helping you, Taurus, to sort of look at a journey that perhaps is calling you, that you may have not been addressing. Um, Taurus, you have a curious mind. Um, you're intrigued to see where this call might lead, and perhaps that was what was, stimulating you for some sort of original plan. But I'm picking it for many Tauruses again that the original plan that you had worked on in the past here has changed for some reason, and now you have to sort of there perhaps is some resistance to changing it. But I'm picking up that the this card here in your present is basically, it's a message, and the message to the Tauruses who are having a conflict with their original plan is that you need to use your intuition, and you need to change the plan if you need to change the plan. And it's a wake-up call. So you're getting a message of a wake-up call if your plans have changed, and perhaps your resistance to it. Um, it's calling you to sort of open up your experiences and discover a new level of consciousness, and that you may benefit from working with a consultant or a mentor or someone who can help walk you and talk you through a path and guide you, and if you're overwhelmed by the decisions and sort of all feelings that go with it. Um, you know hmm, yeah, it's it's I'm picking up that if you're feeling stuck, like if you're feeling stuck, Taurus, that you've started to make a change in your plan, but you're not sure if you want to follow through with your change. It's kind of like two step forwards, one step back. If you're second guessing your decision and hoping for a miracle, this messenger here is sending a sign basically of you need to change your plans, because if your original plans changed for a reason, they changed for a reason. And if you're sort of feeling stuck about wanting to take this second plan, when I think, Taurus, you need to take the second plan for a reason, but you're resisting it for somehow. And this messenger here is sort of giving you the message for those Tauruses that are experiencing this, that you need to go forward with your second plan. That's the best thing for you. That's what I'm picking up here. In our future, we have the Five of Swords, but we have the Five of Swords in reverse. So in your future, with this overall energy, I'm picking up here, this indicates that this a new idea or a breakthrough is coming within you, and it may have to do with a personal decision, a living situation, a work situation, a change in living situation. I'm picking up that that it's something that was different than what you weren't expecting. I'm picking up that you've been exploring this idea and how to best express it or manifest it to the external world, so to speak. Perhaps you're looking for guidance, but you're sort of stuck. I pick up that Tauruses, who are trying to seek a greater clarity about whether this idea or this plan, should you pursue it more fully, perhaps because you're unsure, and if it will bring the results that you're wanting. For Tauruses that are experiencing this, when this card appears in your reading, it's important to give yourself time and space to meditate and clear your mind, so you can birth this idea in the most effective way. And I think what this is saying here, and also that picks up here at the messenger, is that you're getting a signal that this is, whatever the second plan is this is your time to get out of the current situation and in a different space, a headspace, and allow you to think more clearly. That I'm picking up there's a needs to be, you need to separate from whatever is causing you worry or making you unsure, because it's too confusing. And this card's here saying is you need to sort of separate right now to make the best decision. I'm picking up, sometimes when the Ace of Swords is in the reverse, like it is here in your reading, that it's a signal that an idea that you had is not going the way you thought it would be, and this sort of ties into your plans. earlier, and that the way you hoped it would be is just not happening. So you're being forced to sort of go back to the drawing board. Although you may be, Taurus is, because you can be stubborn, you may still be pursuing the original idea, whether it was to move someplace or be with someone or take a job or something. Whatever your plan was that you were working on in your past influences doesn't seem to be working out that way, and so you're sort of faced with, what do you do now? What's your course of action? This card here, Taurus, for those experiencing this, is saying, it's saying, of course, you need to spend more time defining what it is that you want in plain terms, and what it is that you expect in life in general. This is about setting yourself the SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic, and time bound. Be very clear. This isn't the time to wing it, because that just adds confusion. So the better you can be clear on what you're working towards or what you're wanting, the better you're able to focus on the basics and do some better planning, and to get some clear aspirations and goals, and also understand that if your plan hasn't worked out and you're modifying your plan but you're unsure of it, as it happened for a reason. So there's this universe has paused this plan for a reason, because either you've been unsure about the original plan, or you're seeing things differently than what you originally did, and so basically the universe has put a pause on it, and this is allowing you to sort of take pause and to reassess for the best decision for you. And something tells me that you figured out somewhere along the line that whatever your original plan did not end up being the best plan after all, but you're sort of stuck. So this is saying here, Taurus, is that if you're experiencing this sort of situation, which is the biggest message that's coming out of here, is that follow your gut, which is have space, take pause, don't jump in, and thoroughly think this out. Don't rush it. Because it's just not. If you don't make a plan and think things out, and you go back to what your original plan is, it's going to end in disaster. And I think you, Tauruses, that know that, but perhaps it's unsure, or it's sadness that you're hanging on to something that you're hard to let it go, but you need to let it go in order to move forward. So sometimes when that happens, you have to sort of it doesn't mean the whole plan will change. It just, right now, it's saying you need to release the hurts, you need to release the anger, you need to let those things go, let the past go, and take a break, and give an opportunity to see things fresh as what's going on right now, and where do you need to go from this point forward. In our fourth card, we have the Eight of Pentacles, and this is our challenges. And the Eighth of Pentacles, Pentacles is about apprenticeship and mastery. So here in your challenges, it's challenging you to sort of, to reassess, and if you need to improve your skills, or to become better at anything that you want to do, this is the time to do it. And perhaps for some Tauruses, you changed your work, or you became unemployed, or your education or your financial circumstances had changed, and it's saying now that your biggest challenge is perhaps you've been sitting and waiting for something to happen, but this is saying that your biggest challenge is to sort of get off the fence, and you need to apply your sheer determination and concentration to master sort of what your change is going to be, whether it's learning or job or finances. And instead of spreading yourself too thin, perhaps in other areas, this is asking you what's most important. And perhaps some Tauruses are battling do I stay in this relationship, or do I look for a job, that sort of thing. It's about what's the most important and what has the most value right now, and what worries you the most. And there's a saying that, do I need something or do I want something? There's a big difference when you ask that question. What do you need right now to move forward? So, I'm picking up here that your challenge is to put your determination and energy, instead of something that isn't working or is too challenging for you right now, is to put it into something that can change you or make you better or improve you. The Eighth of Pentacles indicates further education or study is needed in order to hone skills. So this may be a point for you to sort of put your energy into looking for something else to do. Go to school, go to take a course, do something else that put your energy on what interests you, and perhaps ideally where money can be made, because that's important in some cases. But it's it's asking you to put your energy and focus into something else which is bettering you, and that's your skills or your intellect or your knowledge, and not put your energy into someone else, is what I'm picking up here. And I'm picking up that if you change your focus to improving yourself, you'll do good. It will be challenging at first, but if you have to want it and you have to feel the excitement of it, and with that you'll have a successful outcome. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's you have to enjoy the journey. And right now, this is sort of telling me, for Tauruses that are experiencing this sort of turmoil, is focus on you and your own growth. Yeah. The Eight of Pentacles I'm picking up here sort of suggests that you're trying to work out the finer details. It's a start, but your focus is probably still on something else, and this is saying you need to focus on one thing, not two things. You're trying to improve your situation, and I'm picking up that for Tauruses who are unhappy with your current state or where you are, you need to make some important changes in your life, and that's the only way to increase your overall satisfaction. I'm picking up that Tauruses, you're realizing that if it's a relationship issue, another person is not going to make you happy. No one can make us happy. Only we can make ourselves happy. And if we're unhappy with something, then we have to figure that out. And this is sort of what this card is saying: is look for your own self-improvement. Look for things that don't rely on somebody else at this time. Take it as a positive sign that you're committing to making changes and ensuring that you're going to give yourself the best chance and the opportunity, and more importantly, that's critically more important, and understand that it's important to take care of yourself, Taurus. So the Eighth of Pentacles is a card of encouragement and reassurance, that if you invest energy in yourself and improving your self-worth, improving your value, self-esteem, your education, whatever, anything that improves you, because you only have to answer to you. It is the best course of development right now, and it's your best choice. So this card is guiding you to work on yourself and improve yourself, and not split your energies trying to change somebody else or improve somebody else. That's what I got. In our outcomes, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So for outcomes, typically, the Ten of Pentacles is about wealth accumulation when it's in the upright position. It's in the upright position. It's about family and home life, and its attainment of sort of that material realm. It's gaining those things. When this card comes up in reverse for you, Taurus, this is sort of saying that you're questioning whether you want to live this way. And it's questioning that if you had a home decision or a relationship or a change or move that you had this idea of, in your past influences, it's coming now at the point of you're questioning, is that really what you wanted? So in the reverse here, I'm just for instance, something's coming up that if you thought you wanted this some sort of relationship, and then it came forward, you're now questioning, is it really what you wanted? The same thing could be for those in a job. You wanted a certain job, but you got the certain job, and now that you have it, you're questioning, is it really the job that you wanted? So there's lots of questions that you're having for some Tauruses here. And when you see the reverse Ten of Pentacles here, especially in your outcomes, it's about you're questioning your need for stability and security and commitment. And it may sound good on paper, and what might be expected of you, but what is it that you want? And this is the key here. You're questioning about what it is that you want, and I think it for some Tauruses that you got on a plan in the last few months that you thought was the direction that you thought you wanted, but you're realizing it's not really what you wanted it, because there's a lot of kickback or things just aren't working it out, and part of it may be you're instilling resistance. You don't want it, but you're not admitting it to yourself. You don't want it, Tauruses. The Ten of Pentacles comes as a reminder of sometimes that some things that we think we want can be a trap for us. The ideal relationship that we thought we wanted may not be what we ended up wanting, or we get money that we thought we wanted, and now we're not happy with it. So again, this is about questioning yourself for Tauruses. That if for those who found yourself with a plan and it's not working out, this is telling you it's not working out for a reason. It's something that you thought you wanted, but you really don't want it. So this is basically saying you need to fess up to that, and you need to own it, and make the decision, or you're making yourself or others miserable until you do. So it's about owning up to this. It's kind of like an example that I'm picking up here is that, let's just say money, that if you splurge money that you received on something that that was fabulous, or some trip that you really didn't need, and now that you spent your money on there, you're debating that was that really what you wanted to do, or did you move to a bigger house when you could have settled with the house that was smaller, because now the bigger house comes with more expenses. This is about it's realizing it's telling you that you're realizing too late that I'm picking up that, Tauruses, for some you're making plans on the ideal and not necessarily on thinking it thoroughly through. And I'm picking up that because those Tauruses have not, you started those plans, but in the start of the plans, or the midst of the plans, you're starting out to raise all these questions, and now all these sort of challenges are coming up, and the challenges with a move, a challenge with a relationship, a challenge with work, a challenge with family, or whatever it is, all of a sudden everything is a challenge, and there's a stumbling block across the way. And what this card is saying is that the stumbling block, in all realm, is you, or it's the universe telling you that you're not really wanting what you're saying, and it's saying that in the outcomes here that you need to recognize that what you've been saying you want and what you're really wanting are not the same thing, and you're out of balance. And all these challenges and these things that are popping up there just seem to make this more difficult than what it needs to be, is because you're not ready, Taurus, and it's down to you to sort of admit that you're not ready, and it's saying it's okay to admit that you're not ready. There's no failure here. You're not disappointing anybody. It's better to admit that you're not ready and be upfront than to make yourself miserable or anyone else miserable. Typically in the reverse here, your self-worth may inadvertently be wrapped up in sort of your decisions. And it's part of you may be unraveling at this time, and things around you are escalating to unhappiness and becoming more emotionally challenging for you, because of it's spiraling out of control in many ways. So Tauruses who are experiencing this, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse shows you that you're experiencing these challenges and these setbacks, whether it's in financial, whether it's job security, whether it's just family or relationship stability or home stability, or even whatever that this instability is creating is because it's at risk, and your heart isn't in it, and it's okay. And if you're going through the motions, but you're going through the motions and creating a firestorm or a hurricane along the way, which is just making it drag out longer and making you more miserable and perhaps everybody else miserable. So this card is saying it's you need to sit down, Taurus, and reevaluate your position and choose your course of action that will help you sort of regain your sense of security and self-worth. That's the priority here. And sort of take a different course right now, or a path, and get off this one path that just is that you thought you wanted but isn't working out, because it's a lot of wasted energy here. And if you ask yourself, Taurus, are you happy right now? And most likely you're going to say you're not. You're probably miserable. But you're bringing up the unconscious sort of. You're dragging your feet in some way. That's what I'm picking up here, Taurus. And it's causing a lot of other problems that are unnecessary and making matters worse. So a decision right now for you is to, I think I'm picking up that you've already started the right course of decision or change of decision, but you might be sitting on the fence. And this is saying, get off the fence. It's not going to improve, and so far you're not changing your idea about it. So you need to. The universe is saying you have to go another direction right now, and you will be okay. And to let go of this drama or these challenges that are happening all the time, because it's not helping. So anyway, that's what I got for you, Taurus. That applies again. This is a general reading for overall energy, and if it doesn't apply to all Tauruses, that's okay. Pick what does apply, and hope that helps and make the right decisions, and that's good. So thank you again, Taurus, for clicking on my channel here. I appreciate it, and I really would appreciate if you would help me with the big three of clicking the like button, clicking the subscribe, and clicking the notification buttons. It helps with the YouTube algorithms, and I would appreciate it. And with that, Taurus, have a wonderful September, and we'll see you in the last 2 weeks of September. Enjoy.